Ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to do a quick checkup on Suros Regime with the dual speed receiver changes. This is an auto rifle that I've always enjoyed ever since Destiny 1, and in Destiny 1, I was a focus fire guy. In Destiny 2, focus fire was rebranded as dual speed receiver, but it didn't carry the same feel because the range was lacking. It still saw bullet damage fall off begin right around 26 meters, the same as the more popular spinning up fire mode. But with the 30th anniversary content update, Bungie did adjust dual speed receiver, boosting its range and zoom stat, giving the weapon about 10 extra meters of physical range. I'll still run the PvP and PvE damage numbers for you, just because that's kind of what I do, but feeling out how much more effective this change made Suros Regime is going to be the main focus of the video. But hopping right in, damage numbers, starting with PvE. Dual speed receiver is only going to activate when aiming down sights, and it will drop the weapon's fire rate to approximately 360 rounds per minute. Versus Carl, my preferred testing dummy, body shots are going to land for 1,094 points of damage, and crits will register 1,748. But due to the Suros Legacy perk, once the magazine hits 50%, so the last 18 bullets, we're going to see increasing damage with each shot, ranging from 1,837 to 1,923 on the final bullet. You're going to see bigger jumps in bullet damage as the magazine gets lower, but this is about a 5 to 10% damage increase from the base value. So if every round were to land as a crit, the maximum damage within a single magazine is 64,931. With dual speed receiver selected, it is going to take 5.86 seconds to fire off the entire mag, putting the single mag damage per second at 11,080, which isn't all that great. If you want to check it out when we're wrapped up here, I will link my Malfeasance damage check video on the end screen. I ran the numbers for 3 exotic primaries that could really dish out some damage in that video. It's a good basis of comparison to see how Suros is stacking up in PvE, but I think most would agree that Suros isn't exactly built for this side of the game. I mean, if you enjoy using it in PvE, keep using it, but I think it's always been at its best in the Crucible. On this side of the game, dual speed receiver is hitting for 36 points of damage on a crit and 22 points of damage to the body. But on the bottom half of the magazine, crit damage can go from 37 to 39, and body shot damage will range from 24 to 25. So at base, that being the top half of the magazine, Suros can finish off an opposing Guardian running 6 resilience with 5 crits and 1 body shot in as little as 0.83 seconds. Or with 9 consecutive body shots, you could drop the enemy target in 1.33 seconds. With the Suros Legacy damage increase and dual speed receiver selected, it's not going to drop the optimal time to kill versus a tier 6 Resilience Guardian, which is the standard that I always test at. And this holds true no matter how deep you go into the magazine. But as soon as the perk kicks in on the 18th round, you can go 4 crits and 2 body shots to secure that optimal time to kill. So a little more shot forgiveness there. But versus lower tier Resilience Guardians, it can make a difference depending on the enemy player's resilience tier and how deep you are in the magazine. The potential is there to secure a 5 crit kill. If it happens, that's a 0.67 second kill speed, so definitely keep that in mind. We're in the same situation with the body shot time to kill. If the enemy Guardian's tier 6 or higher, it's going to take 9 shots no matter how deep you are in that mag. Tier 5 or less, depending on your bullet situation, you could end up with an 8 shot kill in 1.17 seconds. So even if you're not a Suros user per se, this is good information to have to know how to protect yourself from this weapon. And then the reach that this fire mode has now is quite solid. The extra physical range that Bungie tacked on the dual speed receiver makes it much more usable. Before the most recent weapon tuning, Suros with dual speed receiver was seeing damage fall off at only 26 meters. And this always left me scratching my head. You were seemingly just dropping your fire rate to get a slower time to kill. It didn't make much sense. Why use it? Frankly, I wouldn't. I'd just stick with spinning up. Dual speed receiver was tough to justify. But now, the fire mode is stretching out and registering full damage at 36 meters. A much more effective range for that 360 RPM fire rate. This puts you outside of the optimal range of most hand cannons, longer range SMGs, fusion rifles, trace rifles, and most other auto rifles. You'll still have to contend with weapons like scout rifles, pulse rifles, or snipers, but Suros absolutely can hold its own against these weapons. It's an extremely stable weapon, so keeping the reticle on an enemy player's face is quite easy. And since Bungie did give the fire mode a plus 30 to the range stat, it is going to inherently make it more accurate. And while it can get outgunned by weapons at this range, you do stand a good chance of consistently hitting that 0.83 second optimal time to kill. Or better in some cases if you're squaring off against the lower Resilience Guardian when you're in the bottom half of your mag. And if you've happened to have caught any of my videos regarding PvP, you probably know that consistency is a huge selling point for me. If I can hit that 0.83 second kill speed the majority of the time, from 35-36 meters with dual speed receiver selected, I'm a happy man. And anytime we're using Suros, we always have that added benefit of the Suros Legacy's health regeneration aspect. You got about a 50-50 chance of getting a chunk of health back when securing a kill without the catalyst, and about a 75% chance if you have the catalyst unlocked. This can go a long way when dealing with multiple targets in the same firefight, potentially letting you slug it out with multiple baddies more effectively, and living to tell about it. So while a 10-meter range increase for dual speed receiver might not sound very exciting on paper, it translated very well in-game. If you were a Destiny 1 player who really liked using that focus fire Suros, you might feel right at home using dual speed receiver now in Destiny 2. Suros was and is a fine weapon for PvP. Not exactly top of the meta, but this change really does add another dynamic to an already great auto rifle. And that's all I got for you today. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave it a like and consider subscribing to the Ironworker Gaming channel to catch more of my Destiny 2 content in the future. And if you'd like to join a great community full of awesome Guardians, the link to the Ironworker Gaming Discord server is in the video description. And leave any thoughts on the change down in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion on the matter. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you on the next one.